No matter how time changes, no matter how the world changes, my original heart will never change. I will hold your hand firmly, walk through the trivial years of life with you, endure the ordinary days with you, and spend the rest of my life peacefully and steadily with you. All the past regrets are completed by the present reunion. All the past wanderings are settled by the present companionship. This life, I have found my way home, and I will never wander again. I often think quietly that if fate had let us meet earlier, we might have avoided 9 years of loneliness and separation. But now I no longer have such extravagant hopes. Every arrangement of fate is the best arrangement. The early meeting is youthful and reckless, while the later reunion is mature and stable. We missed the ignorant youth, but we ushered in a steady adulthood that knows how to cherish. This is the most perfect gift fate gives us. In the trivial days after reunion, I can always feel the solid sense of happiness that I have never had before. Happiness is no longer an illusory expectation, but a real touch within reach. It is the warm temperature of his palm when he holds my hand, the gentle gaze when he looks at me, the reassuring response whenever I need him, and the unwavering guardianship in every wind and rain. This kind of plain and real happiness is far more touching than any vigorous romance. He knows all my past loneliness, understands all my hidden unease, pities all my unspoken grievances, so he always tries his best to spoil me and love me in the days to come. He will never let me bear the wind and rain alone again, never let me taste the loneliness of separation again, never let me hide my fragility alone in the dark night. He will use his whole life to warm my years, to guard my peace, and to make up for all the regrets and loneliness of the past 9 years. I have walked through the most confused and lonely years of my life alone, and now I finally have someone to depend on for the rest of my life. I no longer need to be brave stubbornly, no longer need to disguise my emotions, no longer need to carry all the pressure and helplessness alone. I can be willful and coquettish in front of him, can vent my trivial emotions unscrupulously, can show my most real and vulnerable side without pretense, because I know that he will always catch me, always tolerate me, always love me unconditionally. This is the best state of love in my mind. Two people who have gone through vicissitudes and grown up independently meet again after years of separation, still retain their original sincerity and love, understand each other's hardships, cherish each other's existence, and walk hand in hand for the rest of their lives. We do not rely on each other for survival, but we are willing to accommodate each other for love. We do not need each other to perfect our lives, but we are willing to spend the rest of our lives with each other. Time is the most fair judge, filtering all false and impetuous feelings, and retaining the most sincere and lasting affection. Those feelings that fade with time are not true love after all. Only the love that can stand the test of years, distance, and separation is the true love that can last a lifetime. Our love has gone through the tempering of time, survived the test of separation, and finally settled in the trivial mortal days, becoming the most solid and warmest reliance in my life. In the days to come, I will no longer sigh for the past regrets, no longer hesitate for the unknown future. With Liu Yanqin by my side, every day is full of hope and warmth. I will cherish every day of reunion, guard our hard-won affection, spend the ordinary but warm trivial days with him, and let the years be gentle and the rest of my life be peaceful. All the way through wind and rain, all the way through ups and downs, all the way through separation and reunion. I finally ended my wandering and found my exclusive way home. The wind and moon in the world are trivial, only the company of you is the ultimate belonging. My youth ends with separation, and my life settles with reunion. For the rest of my life, every scenery, every season, every day and night is all the way home to you. I have long understood that the path I took in Beijing was never easy, and every step of my stability was earned by swallowing hardships in silence. Before Xiao Yiqin walked into my life, I had always believed that reliance is a luxury that adults cannot afford. In this high-pressure city, weakness is often mistaken for incompetence, and tenderness is easily regarded as a flaw. Therefore, I polished myself sharp and tough, learned to cover all fragility with calmness, and used reason to resist all external disturbances. I kept my heart tightly closed, fearing that once I let down my guard, I would be swallowed by the impetuous tide of this city and lose the footing I had finally gained. Yet Xiao Yiqin never asked me to be perfect. He witnesses my exhaustion after endless overtime, understands the pressure hidden behind my smile, and knows how many silent nights I have spent sorting out my emotions alone. He does not rush me to relax quickly, nor does he blame me for being overly cautious. Instead, he accompanies me slowly, letting me know that it is okay to be tired occasionally. It is okay to pause appropriately, and it is okay to hand over part of my life to someone else's protection. For so many years, I have been used to being my own shelter, but he teaches me that being cared for is never cowardice, but the most legitimate warmth in life. Beijing's fast pace has shaped countless people's obsession with results, including me. I used to only pursue progress, only care about gains and losses, and measure everything in life by whether it is useful or not. I abandoned trivial leisure, ignored trivial tenderness, and even regarded emotional sustenance as a waste of time. It is he who pulls me back from the utilitarian rush and lets me feel the true texture of life. Happiness is never only promotion and achievement, but also the warmth of a hot meal after work, the relaxation of walking through the night breeze together, and the peace of chatting casually in the quiet night. In the complicated interpersonal games of the workplace, I have seen too many people disguise their true selves for interests, compromise their bottom lines for development, and abandon their original sincerity for fleeting success. I have always stayed sober and insisted on my principles, even if it makes me seem unsociable and even if it makes my road harder. What moves me most is that Xiao Yichen never persuades me to cater to the world, never lets me yield for trivial gains, and always affirms my persistence. He knows that my insistence is not stubbornness, but the most precious integrity in the adult world. So he always stands firmly behind me, guarding my purity and my perseverance. Love in Beijing is often too fast-paced. Many people start a relationship for suitability, break up for reality, and choose partners for future planning. Feelings are stripped of sincerity and reduced to trade-offs and matching. I have seen countless perfect match couples separate for trivial reasons, and many seemingly sweet relationships collapse under the weight of reality. That is why I have always been timid about love, unwilling to start hastily, and even more unwilling to end hastily. But Xiao Yichen's love breaks all my prejudices. Our relationship is not a hasty choice after weighing pros and cons, but a sincere attraction after understanding each other's strengths and weaknesses, a firm choice after seeing each other's most real appearances. He knows all my flaws and still loves me firmly. He understands all my precautions and still approaches me sincerely. He has seen my most embarrassed and helpless moments and still chooses to stay. His love does not float on glamorous words, but settles in every down-to-earth day. He will remember my subtle preferences that I even ignore, take the initiative to resolve all trivial troubles for me, and tolerate all my suppressed emotions that I dare not release easily. In front of him, I do not need to disguise, do not need to be brave, and do not need to pretend to be invincible. With him, I finally understand that the best love in adulthood is mutual compatibility and mutual achievement. I have my career and my insistence in this city, and I will not give up my growth and persistence for love. He has his own persistence and responsibility, and he will not lose himself for entanglement. We do not restrain each other, do not bind each other, but walk side by side in this bustling city, grow up together, polish each other, and become better people because of each other. I maintain my independence and aura, and he retains his tenderness and steadfastness. We are lovers, and also the most reliable partners in life. The years of wandering and struggling alone have made me cherish the hard-won warmth more than anyone else. I know how difficult it is to settle down in Beijing, how rare sincere companionship is in a crowded city full of temptations, and how precious it is to meet someone who understands your hardships and cherishes your sincerity. Therefore, I never take this relationship lightly, nor do I take his tenderness for granted. I learn to respond to his sincerity with equal enthusiasm, to guard his persistence with the same steadfastness, and to accommodate his habits with gentle tolerance. I used to think that belonging meant having a house and a stable career in Beijing, completely integrating into this city and getting rid of the identity of a stranger. But after meeting him, I realized that true belonging is never the approval of the city, but the company of a certain person. No matter how familiar the streets and alleys are, they are still cold without someone waiting for you. No matter how brilliant the future is, it is empty without someone walking with you. The prosperity of Beijing can satisfy my material life, but only his tenderness can fill the emptiness of my heart and settle all my restlessness. Time passes quietly in trivial warmth. We experience ordinary days together, greet every sunrise and sunset together, and bear the trivialities and hardships of life together. There are no exaggerated romances or earth-shattering plots between us, but every ordinary day is full of solid happiness. This kind of plain and lasting affection is the most touching appearance of love in the adult world. It is not impetuous, not flashy, but deeply rooted in life, growing steadily with the passage of time. Looking back on my solitary years in Beijing, all the hardships and helplessness have become meaningful. Those days of gritted teeth persistence let me know how to persist in myself. Those lonely nights let me learn to be independent and strong, and all the setbacks and tribulations paved the way for me to meet him. If I had not experienced thorough loneliness, I would not be able to feel the weight of this hard-won companionship. If I had not wandered alone for years, I would not be able to understand how rare it is to have someone who is willing to stay with you steadily through trivial days. Now, I no longer fear the changes of the world or the fickleness of human feelings. I have experienced the coldest side of this city, and now I hold the warmest tenderness. I have endured the most helpless solitary struggle, and now I have the most solid backing. Beijing is still bustling and noisy. The workplace is still full of competition and pressure, and life still has trivial troubles and unsatisfactory setbacks. But all the difficulties are no longer terrifying, because I know that no matter how rough the road is, there is always someone who will walk with me, share my joys and sorrows, and bear the wind and rain with me. He is the gentle redemption given to me by years of persistence, the steady harbor where I can dock all my exhaustion, and the eternal scenery that no city prosperity can replace. I have seen the neon all over Beijing, walked through the busy streets of the capital, and pursued the most dazzling future in this city. But in the end, I find that the most beautiful scenery in life is always the person who stays by your side steadily. The city shapes my growth, and he shapes my happiness. Beijing gives me experience and independence, while he gives me tenderness and belonging. I am grateful for every encounter and every tribulation. It is all these experiences that make me meet him at my best age, know how to cherish, and know how to love. For the rest of my life, I will no longer chase empty vanity and lonely excellence. I will hold his hand firmly, walk through the long years together in this city, guard our ordinary and warm days, and keep this sincere and steady love forever. Beijing is magnificent and prosperous, but you are warmer than all fireworks and more beautiful than all scenery. You are the best gift of my years of struggle, the final destination of all my persistence, and the lifelong peace that I have been waiting for all my life.